It's time for another open heart surgery video, this time on a car that makes VQ noises. Let's get started. So this is a 2009 Nissan 370Z, all the way from Washington State. It is here for a lot of massive work on the interior. And like I mentioned in the beginning, this makes VQ noises. It has a 3.7, which is kind of based on a 3.5. And we all know on the highway when they're getting on it, these sound like a tuba. Rah! I don't know, I can't even make the noise. It's a very strange noise, but really they're kind of a cool car. But we definitely want to do a video on this. This is another one of those instances where you walk in on a loved one during open heart surgery with their chest open. It's that bad. This can literally scare the crap out of customers. Let's take a look. So before we dive into the interior, let's take a look around the car real quick. You can see it's in pretty decent shape. The headlights could be refinished to make them a little bit more clearer. We might do that here, we'll have to see. The wheels are in pretty decent shape. They don't seem to be all scuffed up. Let's go back to the back. There's no dents or scratches or anything caved in. I do like the tail lights on the 370Z. It kind of looks like the Juke, Mrs. Wizard, if you look behind you. The tail lights are almost the same.
You're actually correct.
Mm-hmm. Kind of odd. This one's not a junk though. This one's a better vehicle. You can see a big box there. We'll take a look in a minute. That's the new dash. But let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Let Mrs. Wizard give you guys a tour of the open heart surgery.
So, ladies and gents, let's start in a different spot than usual. You'll see why in a moment. But as we look, we can check out the headliner. We usually end our preview with this headliner. And actually, this part of the interior is looking really nice. No sagging, no marks, looking really good. They are keeping themselves protected with a crucifix on the rear view mirror, which might be necessary with people who drive this car. Sometimes they like to go a little crazy. So as we look at the door card there, ladies and gents, we can see that it is actually in really good shape. It's a nice black vinyl with some plastic on it. Not so sure what's going on the seat, but there is a cover there. And if it was properly attached, I bet it would look pretty nice in here. As we move to the back, you'll see that we've got a structural bar. Make sure that we don't twist and turn too much if the car does have a few issues. And it does, the darker bar back there is a cargo cover. Not a lot of cargo area back there, so I'm not sure how much they're actually covering, but I guess that's still available for them. As we slide down, dear Lord, everything is gone. I can't tell you how many miles it has. I can't tell you really much of anything on here because it's gone. Even if it's literally resting on my knees. Here is where the steering wheel should be. It's got the oh so famous floppy paddles, but there's no steering wheel. You can look back there. Here's the entire steering column. You can see where the HVAC ducts are coming out. And again, you can definitely tell why someone would have a bit of an issue seeing everything like this taken out. Look at all those connectors going to all the radio and the heaters and all that fun stuff. Yeah, good thing they are all different in structure, otherwise that would be kind of confusing on which ones they go to. They have different pinouts and different arrangements on different items. Wow. As we move to our center console area, again, a lot more is missing as well, but we do see that if the gear shift knob was still there, we would see that this is a automatic. Otherwise, one nice thing about seeing all this stuff removed is we can see that the carpets are actually quite clean in here. Otherwise, let's go see really what's going on with all this.
So the question would be, why are we having this all apart? Why are we going this far into the car? Only for one reason. Because of this. The dash is turning into an Exxon Valdez oil slick. It looks disgusting, and if you touch it, it actually gets on your hands. Kind of a common issue with these cars, but the vinyl or rubber or whatever that is starts to break down from sunlight, and it looks very, very bad. Otherwise, there's really nothing else wrong with the dash, just other than this looking pretty hideous. This one's actually in pretty good shape. There's so many of these 370Zs out there that have been so heavily modded. Things have been changed so much that they're actually not even really fun to drive unless you're on the track going full bore. This one is still stock, like I like most vehicles. You can enjoy it, you can drive it to school, college, groceries, work, whatever, and still be comfortable and have a sporty car to drive as well. But to get that dash piece off, it's not, you guys know, it's not done in 30 minutes. It's a big job. There's 2 tables full of parts. You guys like to go through piece by piece. Let's start with the first table. So it's not as simple as just unbolting the dash and pulling it out. There's a whole bunch of other things that are barriers to not allow you to even take it out until you get those out first. And that's what this table is. Here's our center console. This is where your shifter is, your center console, kind of like a glove box, ashtray, all that stuff. Here's some panels. Here's our actual radio display. There's our center stack, which actually has the controls for the radio, which is kind of interesting because it looks like this is your radio. You would think there'd be a box behind there with electronics and everything. But if you turn it over, there's nothing there, just a circuit board. It sends controls to the head unit. Here's some more of our center stack. It has our stop-start button and some of the infotainment controls. There's our heated seats controls, high-low on passenger and driver. But wait, there's more. Here's our steering column cover. Here's the actual radio unit here. This is the amplifier and all that. Daniel's son actually did all the work to take all this stuff apart, so I don't want to disturb it too much and get it out of order. Here's our steering wheel. Here's our glove box area. This is where your glove box goes on. Some kick panels and things of that nature. So that's table number 1. All of those things had to come off before you can even get the dash out. Let's go to table number 2. Here we have some little speakers. Those are part of the dash. Little speaker covers. Here is our defroster vents. I believe this is also side defroster vents. Here's our knee bolster that goes underneath the steering column. Here's our A-pillars. This is our instrument cluster. And I'm actually going to do more than just take this out and put it back in. There are some LED lights on the circuit board inside that are dead. So only some of the digits light up. Not a big deal. But I'll be taking, you can see the circuit board inside of here. I'll be taking this apart and soldering on new LEDs to take care of that for him. And this is the perfect time to do this because it's all apart anyways. But that will be done to this. Here's another defroster vent. And here's our airbag with our cruise control and all that, buttons, volume, and the connectors on the back. And now that this dash is out, it's still not done. We have to take these little pods off to transfer them over to the new dash. There's all kinds of clips and pieces and things that'll have to be transferred over, which takes time and adds to more time. Here we have another airbag. This is the passenger airbag that needs to be transferred over. All kinds of little sensors, modules, all kinds of things that need to be transferred over. There's another one there. So as you see, it's not just as easy just to unbolt the dash, throw it aside, put the new one in. There are so many little modules and bolts and clips that have to be carefully transferred over. You don't do it quickly and start getting power tools and zipping around. That's when things break. You take your time. Let's go take a look at the new dash in the box. So it's Christmas time. We just received our new dash from the dealership. Actually, the customer had it sent here. And there it is. Brand new. I'll go ahead and lift this up. Look at that material, guys. It's No more Exxon Valdez, no more melty going on. Everything's nice and clean and new. And I'll flip it over. As you can see, there's no sensors, there's no modules, there's nothing. That is not included in the price of this dash. It all has to be transferred over. If you get in a hurry and break them, you as the shop get to replace them. So you have to take it easy. So this is actually a family member of Leo. You guys have seen Leo's cars in the shop. He had a silver Murcielago. He's had several different cars in the shop. And he asked me, hey, there's this 370Z a family member owns. I just like to have the dash removed and a new one put in. I said, do you want me to try and get it recovered or reupholstered, or what's the plan here? He said, no, what I want you to do, Car Wizard, is I want you to take the old dash out, throw it in the trash, and put a brand new dealership dash in. I said, oh, you want me to take your old dash out and just junk it, kind of like the junk back there? He said, yeah, throw it away. I was like, okay. Doing this job also brought to mind a time when a customer called with obviously not a 370Z, it was a different car, but it was similarly difficult to get the dash out. How much will you charge to do this job? I said it could easily be $3 to $4 grand. Oh, that's way too high. That's robbery. You're trying to scam me. Let me show you something. This is what Leo paid for a brand new dash from the dealership. Almost $2,000 with freight. So the price of the dash, we haven't even done the work yet and we're already at $2 grand. See how quick it adds up, guys? And then you got the labor involved, you put it all together. 2/3 of the price is the dash. The rest is labor and incidentals and little clips or anything. If he wants extra things replaced here or there, we can do that. And just like I mentioned, we're going to fix the cluster that's added on top of the $3 or $4 grand. In this video, you guys just saw all the different pieces and all the things that carefully, time-consumingly have to be taken apart. Like I said a little bit ago, it's not a 30-minute job. This takes 2 solid days of Daniel's son taking the parts out, transferring everything over to the new dash, carefully putting everything back together. It can also go into a 3rd day. It can actually take more than the 10 hours to do the job. I'm just going to charge the 10. Keep in mind, Daniel's son works 8 or 9 hours a day, and he also does a few other jobs while he's working. It could easily be a 3-day job to get the dash out and get this one back in. One common misconception that customers have is when their car is being worked on, it is worked on solid, non-stop, focus only on their car until it's done. No shop does that. You might get to a point where I'm waiting on some bolts or some screws, or there's something the customer wants done, we're having to wait on parts. This has to stop. The mechanic will jump over to another vehicle and work on that while he's waiting. It could be an oil change comes in. It could be something else that needs to be done really fast. We're at a standstill here, and I frequently get phone calls, why is my car not done? Because we're waiting on parts. Why is your mechanic not working on it? Because we can't go any further. So we're getting some other jobs done. And when the parts come in, he'll jump from that project, whatever he was doing, and immediately get back onto this one and get it finished up. I don't think that customers mean to be selfish, but I think it's human nature, as we're worried about our car, only what we got going on in our life. We're not concerned about any other people's cars. But usually when I put it in perspective, I say, imagine that you brought a car to get worked on, and we told you, we're not going to work on your car because we're focusing on this one only right now. That's not the way it works. You have to think about other people too. Everyone needs to get serviced. Everyone needs to get work done.
Wait. You're servicing other people, Wizard. What?
Yes, they're cars.
Okay.
Not the people.
Okay, just checking.
And like I mentioned a minute ago, when Mrs. Wizard gave you guys a tour of the interior, it is that shocking. I have had customers come in and say, hey, I need to get my insurance paperwork out of my car, and they just go back here and they open the door and they pause. This silence, it's like a moment of silence. They're like, oh my God, I didn't realize it was so extensive to do this. Can you put this back together? Can you even, yes, this is like my 50th or 100th dash. Yes, we can put it back together. And your insurance paperwork is over there on the table in your glove box. That's now separated from the dash and in 12 different pieces. Have fun. Good luck. So we'll get that taken care of, get the dash back in. Let's go ahead and take a look in the engine bay real quick before we're done here. Here's our wonderful VQ engine. That is the designation for this series of engine. It is a VQ series of engines. If you subscribe to any forums at all talking about cars, you always hear people joking about VQ noises. These do have an odd sound. But this is a 3.7 liter V6. It has 330 horsepower roughly and about 270 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 in 5.5 or maybe a little less depending on the driver. Quarter mile in high 14s. It's not a barn burner, it's not super fast, but it is pretty quick. It's a very fun car to drive around. We really don't have anything we're doing under the hood. There's no major issues going on or check engine lights or anything like that. It runs very well. But we thought we'd take a peek under here and let you guys see the powerhouse under the hood of a 370Z.
Okay, Wizard, here's something we don't see very often. How did those footprints get there, do you think?
That looks like cat footprints.
That's what I'm seeing.
So they might have had the hood open for some reason, doing something. They went away to take a phone call or who knows, and their cat jumped up here.
Or maybe their cat's a mechanic too and just likes to hang out with them on the nice warm engine.
Maybe. They do have little access panels. You can get to the little battery there. There's a fuse box there. And on the other side, it clearly says brake fluid. There's your master cylinder. Also, there's your air conditioner service port, which one is over here, the high side, and the low side is inside. These types of scenarios, as you just saw with the air conditioning ports, can be quite fun to give a new mechanic. Say, here's the AC machine, go ahead and hook the service ports up, and they will literally spend half an hour. It's like, I don't know, I can't find them. And it's really odd that they put them in such odd places. Some vehicles actually have the high side way on one side of the engine bay and the low side way on the other, where the AC machine hoses are almost stretched to their limits. And then some of them are right next to each other, but one will be hidden. I never understood why they don't put them all out in the open, right next to each other, or at least close to one another. And sometimes they do, but anyways, that would definitely take a little bit of time if you didn't know what you were doing. So now you've seen the inside and out of a 370Z. You guys know kind of what it's like to get the dash removed out of one of these. It's quite an ordeal, quite a big job. And like I mentioned, this one's actually in very good shape. We've seen a lot of these that come in and they're just roached out. They're destroyed. This one's not. It's in very good shape. It doesn't have any deferred maintenance or anything. It's been taken care of. And it comes from a family people who take care of their cars. They do a good job. Just like on the dash, they saw it's coming apart, it's starting to melt, and they're like, nah, bro, we're not doing that. The dash is coming out, we're getting a new one. And it's like $3 grand to put a new one in. Good, let's do it. I don't care, I want it done. That definitely is an attitude to keep a car in good condition for many years to come. If you're curious what kind of tools we use to pull this dash and do all this work inside the interior, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's more videos to come on that, even on that weird, goofy looking thing. Thanks for watching.